Well, it is insane, and that's what everybody is calling it. Absolutely insane. But Eric, let's be honest. If the left, if the Democrats want to start making these rules, well, guess what? We can use the same exact rules.
We're back at this point again with Marge to Barge. Listen, Marjorie Taylor Greene is clueless on most days. So we shouldn't be surprised that she's up here talking about Democrats making rules to get rid of Trump, that the Republicans can use in red states to get rid of Biden.
For example, we could take Joe Biden off the ballot in red states and other states because he is committing treason with his border policies, and the invasion has gotten so bad at the southern border. We could also take his name off the ballot because of the impeachment inquiry that we've been doing on the Oversight Committee, and we produced evidence that Joe Biden has definitely participated in Hunter Biden's business deals with foreign countries and sold his power for political favors, and he's received the financial benefit from that because we have the checks.
Here's the problem. But it doesn't matter to her and her followers because the problem is grounded in facts. Not just any facts, constitutional facts, history, something that has been the law, not rule, the law since the 14th Amendment passed, especially pointing to the third section of the 14th Amendment, which says that any office holder, like president, that has sworn an oath, the Constitution, and then committed insurrection against the same, keep in mind the word the same, because it's important, committed constitutional treason or insurrection, or given aid or comfort to anyone else that has done that, then they are no longer allowed to hold office. Now, why did I say the same is important? Because Section 3 is not about treason or insurrection against the United States. It's about insurrection against the Constitution. That's something different. And Section 3 talks about that. This is the muddying of the water. If you listen to Donald Trump's lawyers, they're not arguing about Constitution or insurrection. They're arguing about he had nothing to do with what happened on January 6th.
One of the last and the ultimate requests that President Trump made was to pause the voting for 10 days to allow the states to recertify or certify or audit. And Mr. Pence rejected that as well. After that, there was a peaceful transition of power. So that's how the constitutional works.
Right. What happened on January 6th was not peaceful.
And the reason they're doing that is because Trump has no case against Section 3 insurrection. He's on the phone. He's in emails. He's been quoted throughout the entire trial for January 6th, the congressional hearing for January 6th, in explaining many times over how he committed treason against the Constitution. When he knew that he had lost the election and still behaved in a manner that would have prevented Joe Biden from rightly taking the office, that very act is what made him guilty. And unless Congress gives him amnesty, he cannot hold office. And here's the bombshell. All the Republicans, Trump included, and Marjorie Taylor Greene in this interview are saying Democrats did this. Here's the problem. The 14th Amendment was not written by Democrats. What I just read is a prescriptive on what you have to do to be president or what can keep you from being president. Just like the Constitution says, you have to be 35 to be president. You can't be 12 and be president. This is a requirement to hold that office. This is a restriction from holding that office. You can't be naturalized and become the president of the United States. You have to be born here. You have to be born here. So it doesn't matter how many people like, say, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He could never be president of the United States because he wasn't born here. It's written in the Constitution. That's not a rule. That's a constitutional law. And Republicans know this, but they play on the idea that Democrats are doing this to Donald Trump. And they can do the same thing to Joe Biden, even though they have no evidence. This man has been impeached twice talking about Trump. And Republicans are doing this newness. When I'm talking about this newness is just saying Democrats are responsible.
Mr. Trump, why did you watch
this is election interference. They made up a fake case. They're fraudulent people. And the judge already knows what he's going to do. He's a Democrat judge. In all fairness to him, he has no choice. He has no choice. He's run by the Democrats. I know this city better than anybody knows this city. There's nobody knows it like I do.
Now, here's the real kicker. Even in this context, beyond the constitutionality of Donald Trump being sued, there's still another problem for Republicans. But it won't matter because it's grounded also in facts. And those problems for Republican is William Boyd, it's Michael Paulson, and it's J. Michael Luttig. Who are those people, Mondale? Well, let me tell you. All three of those guys are conservative, either law professors that belong to the Federalist Society, and in the case of Luttig, he was a shortlist for conservative Supreme Court nomination. That's right. A conservative president was going to name this judge to the Supreme Court. And they make the case that Donald Trump is disqualified from being president. Not a single Democrat testified against Donald Trump when he was during the January 6th hearing in Congress. Not a single Democrat. These were Republicans that either worked for him or that were close to his circle. No Democrats. The people who made this argument and removed him from the ballot in Colorado or said he couldn't be on the ballot in Colorado was the Colorado Supreme Court, not Democrats. The case got legs from conservative either lawyers or judges. And that is the damnest thing that we're not talking about. And when I say we, I mean Republicans, not us. Republicans know they can go on Fox and Newsmax and talk as if anything related to Democrats have anything to do with what's happening to Trump. When in actuality, Trump's behavior has him in this position. Trump's behavior has him in this position. And Trump's behavior is also anti-constitution, according to Section 3 of the United States Constitution in the 14th Amendment. And Marge doesn't understand that because she doesn't care about facts. Nothing scrupulous about this person, nothing scrupulous about the Republican Party and where they find themselves. All we are dealing with are idiots. I'm Mondale Robinson. Read sometime.